What's up, everyone? It's your boy ShowtimeDr. I'm back here to kind of update you on a common way to run Sid now. This is going to be more of an intermediate time in your career. Most people, not everybody, because I had someone tell me the other day, I got Cali before I got Sid. Okay. But most people, once you get Sid, the end game really picks up for you as progression and just the ease of doing it in general. So, and it's also kind of signified your arrival in the game, although I'm sure that'll change. There's probably people getting Sid fairly early now because of so many guides and stuff out there. But anyways, I'm rambling, so let's start. So there are people that are speedrunning Sid now. I've seen Sid done in as quickly as 2 minutes, perhaps even more. So the team that most people are using, this is pretty much the beta type now. I got Sid already, and this is something for you newer players too, because once you got something you can aim for. So once you see Christian out, you can get him 666, and that's going to take a fair bit of effort, but this is just something to aim for in the future. Aimon, if you've pulled 10 times on the most recent banner, you should be able to select Aimon. I highly recommend you do that versus Morgan. So what you do, all you do, you come over here and you pick, a decent second Christian. So why run Christian in this? Well, for one thing, the snake in phase 2 is dark, and you can pretty much almost one-shot him if you get the right abilities going. So just to show you guys how this build works, Aemon has your leadership, so he's increasing your light damage. And Aemon also has that resolve that so many of us love, actually hate. And, he's got Revelation Signet, so he's increasing damage for the party by 30% as well. And, he manages to keep a good taunt around. And how you run him really doesn't matter, to be perfectly honest, as long as it's not too crazy. Like, my Christian actually has a lot of counter. Rue, by now, if you don't know how Rue works, just get her HP and defense, and that's pretty much how she works. Now, the person that makes this is Christian. There's going to be 2 Christians here, and but aside from having his abilities as high as you can get him, one of the cool things about him is the more buffs he has, the harder he's going to hit. Aemon puts up a lot of buffs, Sid puts up a lot of buffs, Rue puts up like 1 or 2 buffs. So, and the other thing that makes him in here is 80% chance to decrease the buff duration of all light allies by 1. Well, if you have 2 of them, then that's basically making it so that most of the debuffs in this dungeon are pretty much gone by the time you've gone through a turn cycle. And then even if they aren't, you still have Sid and you still have Rue to get rid of them as well. And then 60% chance to grant the caster damage immunity when the caster is healed. He's also thrown out some healing over times on the caster whenever he has a crit strike, and he should be critting a lot if you have him properly built. Mine, I chose to stop with right around, is this? Okay, yeah. I chose to stop around 80% for crit damage because you should get 10% from your guild, so that's 90%. And then, there's various other ways you can get crit. Now, he still needs a purple star, that's what it is. So he's going to get 20% more crit at that point. And then other than that, you see I actually have a fairly high counter on him, but the issue is if his damage immunity's up, that mental seal, or engulfing darkness as they call it in this dungeon, that does half of your health and damage, isn't really going to affect him. For the most part, sometimes it will. Now, Sid is the other person that makes this dungeon really cool. The cool thing about Sid, aside from all of his unique abilities, you get this to level 6, you got a double res. You can get a good amount of healing on his 2, you level it up. His 1 I'm still working on. I actually fed his fodders to, I got him lined up. I'm waiting to get my next purple star on Christian there. I just need 1 more. But I figure since I can farm this dungeon 3 times a day rather fast now, it's not a big deal. But the cool part about Sid, besides him granting the shield, is he has a 30% chance to grant damage immunity to the ally with lowest HP. That actually procs a fair amount. I would say it feels more like 40%. That's like some really cool stuff, and just in general, Sid's mitigation overall is really good. So let's get into the dungeon. Show you guys what I mean. And supposedly you can even auto with this team. I'm not gonna go too fast, just so I can explain some of the mechanics for you guys. Let me put my stuff over here. Alright, so from now on, I'll show you what we're doing. So this first wave of spiders, you know, they're gonna do whatever they can. Doing a damn good job of it. So with your Christians, open up with your crit. Same thing. Anyone that has a crit debuff, have the healers auto them for that extra crit. And then just open up with the crit again. And to be perfectly honest, if you have fairly built up Christians, you shouldn't need to ult this first wave at all. Now, you know, with Aemon, for the most part, just keep his 1 and his 2 going. You don't really need to hit his 3 at any point in this dungeon. And, you know, just keep bringing it down. Anyone that has that anti-healing, or not anti-healing, sorry, the defense decrease debuff, just wreck them. 2 Christians should be able to wreck it real fast. But you see how Christian, most of the debuffs, they're going to be going away. It doesn't proc all the time. I think it's an 80% chance, but... see how that was a 2-turn debuff? It's pretty much gone now. So on this phase, the snake's going to be the big issue. So don't hit the snake with your lower DPS. Make sure Revelation Signet's up as much as possible, and then just wreck the snake. Especially if you have the buffs that you're looking for. Crit damage increase, and then occasionally you'll get an attack buff. And then if any of Sid's shields and all that stuff procs, as it will on his turn. Like, this might not one-shot the snake, but it'll get fairly close. And you see that damage immunity doing work there. So... and then otherwise with your healers, just focus on the spiders, because even their debuffs can still proc on the snake. And then this guy, we don't even need to blow ult anymore, so... just wreck. Remember phase 2 being that fast? Not back in the day. So Rue's going to be cleansing all the engulfing darknesses when at the end of her turn. Unless there's some other debuff on top of it. Does happen a lot in this dungeon. There'll be multiple debuffs up. But you see, in this case, counter's actually not that big a deal. Just because, look at those damage immunities that are pretty much up a good amount. Like, seriously, I'm not even having to burn the 2s. The only reason I would burn the 2s right now is to get, if poison got up. And even then, Sid has a good chance of, getting rid of it. So this guy, just blow everything, because he's, So you see right here, he has Engulfing Darkness, but he also has his damage shield. So I'm just going to go ahead. Wreck it. Won't do damage to him as long as he has that. Now poison's up. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Poison's never a good thing. Now this first Sid, you can't stick any debuffs on at all. So. This is Aemon's 2. Aemon's 2, for those who don't know, basically gives you additional chance to... or not at all. It actually makes it so that you're guaranteed to counter. So, you know, be careful when you're using it, because if Sid gets Engulfing Darkness on everyone and you had a bad roll and there's no damage immunities up, it'll do a decent amount of damage. Yeah. But you see how much faster this is than my old videos and the traditional runs. And part of that is I'm more powerful now. Part of that is... my friend unit that I'm using, we're all more powerful now, so... Now when this Sid spawns, he can fully be debuffed and all that, so... You don't necessarily have to focus on the ads if they spawn far away. If they spawn next to Sid, you can go ahead and use your cone effects, but in this case, he's pretty far away. So most likely a multi-attack is going to take him out at some point, or a counter. We'll see how it goes. You see that damage immunity protected Christian there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the... Yeah, we got the crit buff. Unfortunately, we don't have a DPS to follow up right now. So in this case, you see how there is a Sid right there, a Shadow Sid. You go ahead. Pretty much erase him right there. Now granted, you could just ult Sid right there too. Especially if your crit debuff or crit buff is up. Like I said, make sure that he's putting up attack, or Signet rather. Signet, it's procced by his 1 or his 2. He doesn't even have to land a successful hit, he just needs to go do it. So you see, despite this run really not going that well necessarily, we're still in the game here and we're still gonna win in a fairly quick fashion. There you have it. So if you get to this phase and he's still alive, just hit the regular Sid and you'll be done. And you know, fairly fast considering I was doing a tutorial on it. 6 minutes, 37 seconds. Like I said, there's some people that got this to like 2 minutes. Just click, 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 click. And you can apparently auto it with this formation as well. You see the Christians doing work there. The damage taken, not really that much. Recovery amount, both healers doing work. And even the Christians actually are throwing out recoveries too with their passives, so... Just an easy, solid team there, guys. And even if you don't have a Christian for yourself, take a friend's Christian, you know? Take a guildie's Christian. He makes a hell of a difference in this dungeon, so... I hope that guy's helpful. Maybe some of you people that didn't know how fast this dungeon can be now, if you get to that point. If you're still new, it's just something to aim for, guys. I still have videos. I'll put video links out. I still got a video to doing Christian for the first time, you know, when you had to tank and spank him and all that, so... Or Christian, I'm sorry, Sid. Anyhow, guys, I hope, I know a lot of you have been asking me questions, am I still playing Knights Chronicle, because you see me putting up videos for other games. I'm just diversifying now, guys, because unfortunately, Mobirum and Netmarble, they've kind of shown us their hand at this point of... Despite whatever they're going to do with the game from now on, whether it's good or bad, they just don't have a strong public relations presence with America and Europe and basically everywhere that's not Korea. So it's just the way it is, guys. I'm sure it's a separate office. To me, it seems like it's kind of some people that, you know, they don't necessarily... Well, I shouldn't really say that. And whatever the reason is whatever the reason is. So I'm diversifying in case they kill the game. That's pretty much all I'm doing. I'm still going to be streaming Knights Chronicle. In fact, I'm going to stream it later on today. I'm still going to be making videos for Knights Chronicle as long as it's around, as long as the community's there. But I've seen so many people, guys, in my comment section now and in my Discord and in other people's, you know, chats and Discords and just randomly, you know, even reviewing the app right now. If I look at the app reviews on the Google Play Store, it's just like, I quit. Yeah, this game's going this way. I quit. I'm playing this now. And it's just like, man, dude, like, I hate to say it, but man, dude, they just seem like they're tone deaf and they don't care. And, you know, part of it's like a cultural thing. I get that, but it's just too bad because there's so many people I know in the community that would be much better at that public relations role, and it is what it is, guys. So, but I'm not stopping Knights Chronicle content as long as they keep coming out. Also, I know a lot of you guys have been asking me too. You're like, well, where's the videos on the newer characters and that? My pulls have not been that great, guys. I just got Verdandi like a day ago or 2 days ago on the 10 pull. I did do the 10th pull. And now I'm gonna work on Etika a little bit in case I get her, but I'm probably not gonna pull too hard because the character I'm waiting for the most is Janice, basically the anti-Rue. Hopefully, will be coming out within a couple of weeks, but we'll see how it goes. As far as the costumes go, probably I'm expecting another batch in Halloween because it seems like they're gonna be doing theme costumes since for September they did the school uniforms. It's going back to school month, and October is gonna be, you know, whatever. Kind of doubt they'll do Thanksgiving costumes, but you never know, maybe. But they'll definitely be Christmas costumes. Uh, Probably Valentine's costumes. I don't know if they're gonna do New Year's costumes, perhaps. And then we'll see from there, like whatever goes on. Hopefully, they're working on a way to make it so that maybe like a month later, as someone suggested to me in my Discord, you know, the costumes will come out and be farmable versus for a month you can only buy them for the $20 or whatever. That I wouldn't mind so much, but as long as there is at least a way. But anyways, so I'm doing this, and the other two games I'm playing right now called Tales of Aaron and Epic 7. Epic 7 is only in Korean at the moment, but it'll be global by December. So we're basically just diving in, beta testing the game. Looks really good so far, guys. I can't lie to you. Looks super good. So, anyways, I guess that's it for me. So I'm ShowtimeDr, Showtime Doctor. You found my YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button if you found this content useful and you like the content. I also have a Twitch, twitch.tv/ShowtimeDr. There is a link to my Discord as well in the notes. And you know, guys, we got a great community in there. We got 3 thriving communities going for games right now, all those games I mentioned. So, and of course, Knight's Chronicle as well. Alright, guys, so have yourselves a good day. I'll catch you later. Peace out.